Hello, everyone. My name is Marion with DTM Real Talk Channel. It's the channel that you can tune into, have the ability to listen to the thoughts of others about topics all over the world that touch every one of our lives. Everybody goes through basically the same thing. There is nothing new under the sun. So if you're going through, someone else has already been there. Maybe you can find hope. Maybe it's a pathway that can set you on the right road just by tuning in. So DTM Real Talk, just keeping it real. And if you like it, like us at the bottom, subscribe, and let us know just how we helped you. Just keeping it real. Nothing but love. Hello, everybody. We are running 6 weeks and wrapping up, ending. First of all, just let me say thank you. Thank you for watching, for tuning in, because we've been talking about top concerns that women have, and there's so many of them. And a lot of them, guys, are wrapped in insecurity, wrapped up in unforgiveness, just wrapped up in a plethora of things that have happened to us in the past and that we have the power to deal with. And we need to just do it. So tonight, we're going to end on sibling rivalry. And I just wanted to especially thank you guys, because I'm getting stories lined up so that you can hear what God has done in the lives of many before they came to a relationship with Jesus Christ, during that journey, how they got to where they are. And so I'm so thankful that for the people that have taken the boldness, accessed their boldness and walked in it and shared with you and I what God has done in their lives. And after this clip, beginning next week, we're going to get back to our stories and testimonies of the wonders and mercies of God in our lives. Stay tuned. Good evening, y'all. We're back. This is DTM Real Talk, and we're just keeping it real. My big sister Barbara is back with us, and my pumpkin baby is too. Yay, everybody. Yay. Y'all, we are wrapping it up this week. This is our last night doing top concerns that women have, and we're just going to go through them real quickly for you guys. If you're just tuning in, you can rewind, and there's a part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, and part 5. I think it might be part 6. But anyway, we talked about some top concerns that women have, and one was weight, one was attention, one was women have challenges being loved. Identity. Women have challenges really knowing and accepting who they are. Women have challenges trusting, most times because we were hurt or betrayed, or just unforgiveness and bitterness lodging in our hearts about something or someone. And so that end results of that is lack of trust. And women have challenges being concerned about the type of mate that we will get or that we will be prepared for. Closeness in a family. Some people don't have close-knit families, huh, y'all? And we have challenges. Inner peace. A lot of women have no inner peace. We talked about that. The great peace that you can receive is from the peace giver, Jesus Christ. And last week, we talked about money woes. We talked about money woes and death. Death. And I think we did talk about elderly parents as well the week before that. But we're going to talk a little bit tonight as we wrap this up about sibling rivalry. Have any of you guys out there in YouTube land had sibling rivalry? And if you want to share your story, reach out to me at DTM Real Talk. D as in dog, T as in Tom, M as in Mary. DTM Real Talk at gmail.com, and you can share your story of sibling rivalry. Well, I'm going to start this one off. I really didn't have sibling rivalry, but we had sibling stuff going on. I'll tell you a good example. I'm the only girl, blood sister, because we do have an older sister who is my heart. I miss that girl so much. She's in California. But anyway, we didn't have sibling rivalry. We had sibling foolishness. We had a lot of that. My brother and I, my mom was a school teacher, for those of you that don't remember that. She was an educator like nobody's business, talking about sitting us down at the table, doing timetables, division, addition, plus all that. We weren't able to watch television to go out and play until we got it done. But anyway, my brother had this bad habit. My older brother, he's 3 years older than me. He had this bad habit of taking a center of his hand and popping me in my back, in the middle of my back, and running. The pastor. He would pop me in the center of my back, y'all, and start running. And then I would pop him back, running after him, and we'd be fighting back and forth. And my mother would come in there and say, "Oh, you want to fight? Oh, you want to fight?" Now, remember, she was the educator. She said, "Oh, y'all want to fight? Come here, Junior." And she called me, "Come here, Marianne." And she said, "Now fight till I tell you to stop." Oh. And we would just be standing there like this because we didn't want to fight then. And she said, "I said, hit him." And I go, she said, "Hit him harder." And she would tell my brother to hit me. And he said, "Oh, but you don't want to fight now. You don't want," I said, "Fight." And she'd take out her belt. And she'd tell us, "If we're going to fight, you're going to fight while I'm standing here." And then we wouldn't fight. And she said, "Now tell your brother you're sorry and kiss him." I said, "I'm sorry." And I would hug him. "Tell your sister you're sorry." "I'm sorry, baby." And we would hug. So we didn't have a sibling rivalry. We just had sibling foolishness. And so, I mean, I'm in the industry. I see a lot of sibling rivalry. Pumpkin, you want to speak to it?
So, sorry.
Get you some water, girl.
I grew up. I think I got a tickle. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I grew up with one brother who's 4.5 years older than I am, right? So I was a baby. And of course, he thought he was my daddy. So there wasn't really any sibling rivalry between us. Because by the time I grew up, he wasn't really home. But fast forward to when I had my children, of course, they do their little fighting here and there. So we had the big shirt. I put both of them, whoever was fighting, if it was two of them, they both got in the shirt together. The one hole of the shirt, both of their heads in it. And they would have to stick one arm out on each side, and they would have to hold hands on the inside of the shirt, because they're shoulder to shoulder. Hold hands, and I would make them sit down and like that all day. And they couldn't talk. They just had to hold hands. And they were like, "Mom, this is killing us." So after like one day of that, "I don't want the shirt. I don't want this shirt." I told them, like, "Y'all are not gonna be fighting up in here. Y'all supposed to fight out there. You're not gonna be fighting each other."
It taught them a lesson, did it not? Did that not teach them a lesson? Now, see, if you did
early
that,
now,
if you did it today, they'd be picking you up, taking you to jail.
They probably fought, but they made sure that I didn't know about it. So I can't say 100% hands down. I know they never had any more sibling rivalry. They just made sure mama didn't know about it because they knew my punishment was gonna be them being together all day.
They'd be calling the police on me if I did what I did back then. I made my kids. I put peas on the floor, cans of peas. I said, "Oh, you want to disobey me? Get on your knees on top of the can."
You went military style, huh?
Went military. And they had to do that for 10 minutes. And that hurt. So I bet you they listen. I bet you they listen. But anyway,
wow.
The sibling rivalry, I run into it a lot today because I'm in the insurance industry and the death care industry. And so I'm dealing with families all the time. And when I tell you it's a lot of rivalry, sibling rivalry, because I'm in it and I have to deal with it. Mom or dad have passed away and you got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 siblings and they're at each other's throats because of whatever. It could have been jealousy when they were coming up. It could have been mom and dad treating them differently. I don't know. It could have been just whatever was in their heads at the time. I don't know. But as adults, it all came out, even at the time of death. It's been really wild in this industry, watching the sibling rivalry and the confusion that comes about at the time of death. People be surprised. I mean, I was talking to one lady at a cemetery, And she was telling me, she said, Marion, you would not believe the people that come through here and literally fight.
Wow.
Inside of the cemetery office when they're coming to, take care of business. They literally fight physically.
And you would think that would be the time they would pull together.
You would think.
Yes.
You would think. But a lot of that has to do with undealt issues that were never handled. A lot of that has to do with undealt issues. And I'm thankful that when my mom passed away, my brother and I, we had no issues at all because mother had everything laid out. You know that. She had it laid out. Yeah. The lady had a will written, gonna tell us what to do with the living room, the back room, the second room, the third room. She had it all written out. She had the will, she had her obituary done, and she sang at her own funeral. So sister had it going on. Yeah.
Wow.
Sister had it going on. As a matter of fact, it was El Jerome. She had just did a seminar. I think it was a workshop, a musical workshop. Songbird, and she did a musical workshop at his church, and she loved her some El Jerome Smith, right? And so he recorded her singing I Walk with the King. And at her funeral, he walked up and asked my brother, could he play that? And my brother said, yeah. Girl, they turned that on. You could see that little lady in your mind walking up the aisle with that walker singing I Walk with the King. The woman was gone to meet Jesus and told the church off.
Wow.
Oh,
yes So sibling rivalry, it's a beast. Anybody else want to speak to that? I remember one time I was riding.
No, I missed that portion of raising. I didn't have any siblings to rival with.
Okay,
so that was a blessing. And I guess, I guess once I had my children, since I didn't have anyone to fight with or have any beef with, I raised them to not fight amongst themselves. So they weren't allowed to fight. They couldn't touch one another. As far as hitting and fighting, it wasn't going to happen. Wow. I'm like, I didn't have a method. I just had a whipping method, the kind that they don't allow you to do now. Yeah. So if you want to fight, this is how I'm going to end it. You can start it.
Yeah.
But this is how mom's going to end it for you. So I never had a real issue with them when they were growing up.
Right.
And I'm trying to make it not an issue when I leave this world, that I've taken care of everything and put it in order. So they won't have that to be like, well, she left me in charge. I put each one of them in charge of a different area.
There you go.
And that way y'all work together, If you love me, you're going to work together. So.
Right. Yeah. That same thing with my brother and I, we do. I told him I'm the neck and he the head. That's what I told him. I'm your neck. I know where to turn you. All you do is give me the orders.
That's funny.
I like that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how me and my brother. I need to ask my brother, am I the neck or the head? Because my brother's, like I said, 4.5 years older, so he's always been like more like daddy because my dad wasn't around. But whenever it comes to decisions that have to be made, especially with my mom, because she's up in age, and so we've recently had to move her, he'll typically say, like, it's always a conversation. And he feels like I have a better way with my mom than he does in certain things. So sometimes he'll be like, okay, well, I think this is what we should do, but I don't think I can get mom to do it. So what you think? And then I'll go in there like, present it to her in my fashion, and then she does it. So maybe sometimes he's the neck and sometimes I'm the neck. I don't know.
I guess. Because me and my brother, I have to get permission from him to do certain things in the house. Because, this is our house, where my mom was living. And I take care of my handicapped brother. We take care of them together, but I take care of him here personally. And my brother does everything else, like his doctor's appointments and stuff. I have to tell him when the doctor appointment is. If I don't turn that neck, he ain't going. He might say, because you got his appointment straight, put the appointment straight. I have to get on the phone and make the appointment. I have to turn it in. I have to call him up and say, well, you got an appointment with her in the morning. Oh, I do? Okay. So we work together. It's a beautiful thing. So we
Mhm.
don't have no sibling rivalry. And I have one baby brother in the military, and we touch base every now and then, but it's nothing like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it is amazing to have family. That leads us to the family. I don't think we did too much of that one, but a lot of people don't haven't experienced family. And my mom,
Yes.
when she passed, before she passed, every Thanksgiving that I can remember, every Christmas that I can remember, the woman had people over at the house.
Yeah.
There's no time I don't remember that she didn't have somebody over here. So when she died, the first year she died, which was 19, it was like, oh my gosh, I gotta have Christmas. It wasn't gonna be like Christmas if we didn't have everybody at the house. She wasn't here. It was the first Christmas that we had without her at 19. And I had over 40 people in this house.
Wow.
Games
Yeah.
outside, my children's father and his wife, and her children and grandchildren, and we had a big happy family. We played
Yeah.
games. So, we did everything, and I cooked everything, and they ate, and it was wonderful. So Mom made sure that she left that in us. So every holiday we
Yeah.
tried to do big. This year I wasn't able to do it past year, but I'm gonna get it this year by the grace of God.
Yeah,
Yes.
family is very important. Sometimes my kids will be like, "Oh, mom, what do you want for your birthday? What do you want for Mother's Day?" What I'm like, you guys know what I want. I just want like my kids and my grandkids to be present, whether we're eating around the table or playing games or just, conversing. That family time for me is
Yes.
very, very important.
That's
And
important.
we just moved to our new house, and so they came over for Christmas this year, no, Thanksgiving, and nobody had been here yet. So their fun act to do while they were here was to go outside and drive around on the riding lawnmower. My big old 30-something-year-old kids out there just taking turns. Get up, it's my turn.
Family. It's about family. It's about
Family.
yes, yes. It's about family. Speaking of family, my cousin, you have your mother's side and your dad's side. On my dad's side,
Mhm.
it's huge. My mom's side was kind of small, that I knew of. It was kind of small. And on her side, that's where the one girl deal was on my mom's side. So I have 5 sons. Their father has 6 brothers. So they didn't stand a
Wow.
chance. Okay. So back to my mom's side, her brother had 3 boys and 1 girl. Her other brother had 2 boys and 1 girl. My mom had 4 boys and 1 girl. And all 3 of the girls look alike. 1 dark, 1 brown, and 1 light.
Wow.
It's crazy. If you put us all together, it's crazy. And
Different shades.
we all 3 are very close. But I said that to say my cousin, the 3 boys and the 1 girl, my first cousin, his name's Ed, and he's been doing ancestry. And last night, he wanted to introduce it. He's been working on it for 2 years on my mom's side. And all I ever knew was my grandmother, which is my mother's mother, and my great-grandmother was Mama Sally. That's all I ever knew. I just knew we were Choctaw Indian. I knew that because my mother told us. And, everybody got some white in them, but we're mainly Choctaw Indian and Black. And so he did this ancestry thing. Guys, this thing was amazing. This boy's been studying this thing for 3 years. He went all the way back to 1806. Wow. And he was able to find all the names and who married who and how this one became that. And then went to the place where our family originated from, the church they used to go to, where they were buried. Yazoo City. I didn't know that. We were all in Greenville, the Delta, but they migrated to there. And he showed us the plantation that our ancestors were on. Yeah, it was crazy. And I finally got
I didn't want to do that.
See my grandpa's name in there, Johnson. Yeah, my grandfather. And he married a Smith. Wow. Yes. And so that boy traced all of that. He was just going on and on. And I was like, yes. And they even had the pictures in Ancestries. I don't know. They had the pictures there, but you could see the ones that looked like my grandfather looked like them. Yeah. And my uncle.
That was cool.
It was so cool. I was so thankful and grateful for him doing that. My nerves too bad to do all that kind of stuff. See, I can't go. But he's been studying it for 2 years. So that was just like, oh, you get to see where you come from. And we all mixed up anyway. But the point is just to see it, to see it layered. And he took the time to do that. And so there were about 12 of us on the line. And some of the ladies were in their 80s. Their names were on there and their fathers and grandfathers. Oh. And they were agreeing like, oh, that's so-and-so or that's so-and-so. It was wow.
And it wasn't made up.
Huh?
I said, so it's true that it works.
Yeah, it worked. It worked. And so now we're planning not a reunion because we don't know each other. A reunion means you come back together. We're planning like a get to meet each other. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
In August. Yeah. So we're going to try to meet at that plantation in Benton, Mississippi. Ain't that something?
Oh, wow.
It's going to be real.
I can't wait to see the pictures.
I can't wait either. He showed some last night. I was like, oh my God, look at that. Oh, look at my grandpa. Oh. But anyway.
Had you seen your grandmother's picture before then?
I have seen my grandmother's picture, but not my great, no.
Oh,
no.
okay.
Wow.
I didn't know. I heard my grandmother talk about her, Mama Sally, but I didn't know her mother and her mother's mother. No. Yeah, she was.
I was trying to tell my. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying that's why I was trying to get my grandchildren to understand how special it was for them, because we just lost my husband's grandmother last February. And so my grandkids got to know us, their grandparents, both of our parents, which is their great, and then their great-greats. So not very many people get that, So I was like, this is very special. So you guys may be annoyed that we're taking you to see the old people, but you need to know your history. And now they're like, oh, wow, we appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I'm excited to see, where it's going to go. I'm going to try to do my dad's side later because his side is huge. Oh, Jesus. His side is really huge. My mom's side was kind of small, but just going back. But my dad's side is big on this level, not even going back that far, But anyway, it's been a pleasure. Anything else we'd like to say to the good folks out there about sibling rivalry? Any advice we could give them in reference to handling it if you're going through it?
All I can say is act in love at all times if you can. Act in love.
And I'm going to throw this out there. If you're going through some sibling rivalry, take a do a self-examination of yourself and ask yourself why. And when you find the answer, ask yourself, what can I do about it? Not the person, what can you do about it? And I promise you're going to find one answer that I know of: forgiveness. You're going to find that. So this is DTM Real Talk, y'all. And we're just doing what? Keeping it real. And we'll see y'all another time. Thanks for watching DTM Real Talk. Be sure to join us for more conversation. And oh yeah, don't forget to hit that like button, share, and subscribe while you're there.